After a record-breaking transfer and just after 200 minutes into his Celtic career, Gordon Dalziel has seen enough of Engels and he reckons he's already a better player than Matt O'Reilly. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. And Gordon Dalziel, the former Rangers man, he's had something to say about Celtic on Super Scoreboard, and he has come out and said something that I thought was pretty controversial, but you know what? After rethinking about it, I don't know how controversial it actually is, but he's come out and he said that he believes that Celtic's new signing, Engels, is a better player than Matt O'Reilly. Now, we know when Matt O'Reilly left, there was all this talk about Celtic fans and Brendan Rodgers. They all believed that they needed two players to replace Matt O'Reilly, and no matter what two players they brought in, they always were going to feel like they weren't as good as Matt O'Reilly, okay? They just sold him for 25 million to Brighton. It was going to be hard. It was going to be impossible, almost, to bring in a player that was just as good as Matt O'Reilly. But they brought in Engels, and we've seen him play for 2 full games and a little bit against Rangers. And we've seen straight away that, first of all, this guy does look good. You can see why Celtic have paid 11 million. You can see why Celtic have broke their record ever transfer. But Gordon Dalziel went one further than that. He believes that he is already better than Matt O'Reilly. This is what Gordon Dalziel had to say. He said, quote, "What I've seen of him, this guy has every single thing in his locker. He's 21 years of age. He's got off to a terrific start. The confidence he's got composed on the penalty kicks, I'm telling you, he's a better player than Matt O'Reilly. All day long and twice on a Sunday. I'm not being disrespectful to Matt O'Reilly. I would play Engels before O'Reilly." End of quote. Now, a lot of people, myself included, when I first heard this, I was like, right, calm down. Calm down. He's only had a couple of games. You're saying he's already better than Matt O'Reilly. I mean, that surely can't be the case, because Matt O'Reilly has just left to go to Brighton for 25 million, 26 million, whatever. Celtic getting their record transfer fee received from a club. But, I mean, when you actually just break it down and when you look at it, I mean, here's the facts. Celtic brought in Matt O'Reilly for 1.5 million from the lower leagues of England. They've actually broke their transfer record fee for Engels from the Bundesliga for 11 million. Based on that, I mean, shouldn't Engels be just as hyped when he initially comes in, or even be a better player than Matt O'Reilly, purely based on the transfer fee? One guy cost 1.5, the other guy cost 11 million. Is it really that surprising that Engels is better than O'Reilly?
I mean, it's what way you look at it. I mean, let's look at Henrik Larsson, signed for 650,000. Celtic then brought in Chris Sutton for like 9 million. Does that automatically mean that Chris Sutton smokes Henrik Larsson? No, but obviously the expectation is there for Engels pretty much. When Celtic signed O'Reilly, right, they thought, we've got a guy for the future. It wasn't an already made replacement. Difference is,
yeah, but they're both,
when you're bringing in Engels, it's like, right, he needs to... I think it's fair.
They were both the same age, were they not? Engels is 21. I believe Matt O'Reilly was 21.
Yeah, but...
Now, obviously, you can bring in a young player for small amounts, and if you bring in an established player, which Chris Sutton was, he's going to cost more than Larsson. Larsson was like an unknown quantity at that point.
Yeah, but it's whatever way you look at it. I think it's unfair on O'Reilly, right? See Engels, will he be better than O'Reilly? Probably.
I tell you what, it's looking that way.
I'm not going to bury it. There's a lot of people out there, but he's only scored 2 penalties. And the same Celtic fans that are bigging him up for scoring 2 penalties bury Tavernier and Shankland for scoring penalties. You know what? You still have to score penalties at the end of the day. I'm not going to bury.
I'm not basing it on his penalties. I'm basing it on. I'm not. He's had just 2 and a bit games and he looks really good.
No,
I'm not saying he is better than O'Reilly, but what I'm saying is, like, people are making it. Is this really shocking for Gordon Dalziel? When Celtic paid 11 million for this guy, is he not expected to be good?
No, he is, but is he better than Matt O'Reilly right now? It's a tough one. You can't just base it off the 2 games. I mean, he came on against Rangers, right? He was good against Hearts, and I thought he was very good against Slovan Bratislava. O'Reilly had like a record-breaking season last year. 19 goals, 18 assists. Will Arne Engels match that? Is he as good as O'Reilly if he doesn't match it? Not necessarily. Like, players don't exactly get the stats all the time, but they can have like a massive effect on the team, like a Ratati. But when Rodgers comes out and says that he wants to turn Engels into a goal-scoring midfielder, and the fact that he's starting in the O'Reilly position, you've got to compare him to O'Reilly.
And that's straight away, by the way, that tells me that Rodgers knows what he's doing. I think Rodgers is padding this guy's stats because he knows this guy's been sold in the not so distant future.
Yes.
I tell you what,
this guy will probably be away for Celtic before Rodgers goes.
Well, it depends if Rodgers gets any job offers for down south.
Rodgers linked with Tottenham when they sack Ange, which would be fun. Imagine Rodgers left and Ange came back to Celtic. That'd be a nightmare I wouldn't want to be a part of.
I think, would Rodgers take that job?
Nah. I mean, of course he probably would, but the reality is he said he would see the contract out.
Why doesn't Rodgers just come out and say what Celtic fans want to hear and Rangers fans don't? I'll be here for the 10.
Well,
I mean, is the grass really greener on another side? Does it get greener than Celtic Park?
Probably not, no.
So why not do that?
Do it, nah, you know what, right? Fuck
Tottenham's a career killer.
Tottenham's a diddy club. No, I see Tottenham like in terms of club stature, the Rangers and Celtic, man. Yo,
Brendan Rodgers has had multiple seasons at Liverpool and Leicester. I'd like to think this guy's financially alright. I don't think he needs to go to... It's different Ange, right? You could argue that Celtic was the biggest club that Ange was at, right? And he would have got a lot of money. But look, even if Ange is the manager for Tottenham, right, for 2 full seasons, that is life-changing money.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying being at Celtic isn't, because it is.
There's not a guarantee of Champions League football next season, so that could affect Rodgers next season. As for right now, they're doing good. But the question is more about Engels. I think Gordon Dalziel comes out with some bizarre fucking takes, right? He said, like, when he was defending Engels, he's like, I think Borna Barisic is a great player. It's like, alright, reel it in. But he also said the same about Burnaby. He was fucking wrong there. I think we need to put a bit more respect on Matt O'Reilly's name.
So, alright, so you're thinking he could be better, but he's not done enough yet?
I think he's got a higher ceiling than O'Reilly, right? But I think it's almost a bit of... the way DL's got on is what you would expect a petulant Celtic fan to get on. As if, O'Reilly doesn't play for us anymore, fuck him, Engels is better.
Or maybe Gordon Dalziel's just been really impressed with Engels' start this season.
I think he's been good. Has he blown me away? No, but as Gordon Duncan replied to him, he's like, you bought him for 11 million.
Alright, well, people are saying that Schmeichel's better than Joe Hart. Is that not a little bit unfair on Joe? I know Schmeichel had pre-season, but people have been saying
Schmeichel is better than Joe, but he's had nothing to do. He's played in his slippers. Joe Hart is retired in his slippers.
Well, look, we'll see. I'm gonna put up for a poll. Who's better, Matt O'Reilly? But look, listen, it's not like Engels has only been playing football for 2 and a bit games. I mean, if we were watching the Bundesliga, maybe when Celtic bought him, we'd be saying as soon as...
Is the easy answer not, well, you know what? Brighton signed him for 30 million from the Scottish Premiership. Celtic signed him from 11 million from the Bundesliga. Does that not automatically tell you that O'Reilly's better? Our league's so far beneath the Bundesliga.
Well, you've put a different spin on it there, and I can certainly make that case.
I know Billy Gilmore went for peanuts to Napoli for whatever fucking reason, because I think the guy's worth about 50. He went for like 8, 12.
Yeah, no, like I agree. I think Engels, like you said, bigger ceiling. He's looked good. And I do think that you can spin it different ways. You could say that Matt O'Reilly went for this, so
if
therefore...
O'Reilly was in the Bundesliga and Engels was in the Scottish Premiership...
Yeah, but also you could say that at 21, Engels was in the Bundesliga, getting an £11 million transfer, whereas O'Reilly at 21 was unnoticed in League 2 or whatever, and Celtic took a chance on him. So, I mean, it depends.
All about narratives.
We'll see in a year or two just how good Engels could be. I still think that, I mean, based on right now, if you had a must-win game, would you rather have Matt O'Reilly or Engels in your team?
I'd say O'Reilly.
Yeah, and I don't think 2 games changes it.
Yeah. Halfway through the season, end of the season...
Well, listen, we've been saying that the Celtic starting 11 is weaker than it was last season, and the only change in the outfield positions is Engels for O'Reilly, so I'm not going to switch up now and claim that...
Put it this way, right? See, last season, I think O'Reilly carried Celtic through the first half of the season. He scored crucial goals and got crucial assists. We were literally saying for so long, the only player that Rodgers has improved is Matt O'Reilly.
No, definitely. So, do you think Engels is better than you expect him to be, or is this what £11 million player should be doing?
That's what he should be doing. It's not a flop, but I would say what he's
doing.
Do you
think he's overachieving? Do you think he's underachieving, or do you just think what the kind of way he's playing in his performances, or just what an £11 million player should be doing?
It's what I would expect. It's a record transfer fee. you look at record transfer fees in other league.
Now, some people might say he got off to a better start than Matt O'Reilly. Matt O'Reilly was 1.5 million. This guy was 11 million. I'd like to think this guy's got off to a better start.
That's a key difference.
So, I mean, look, we'll see. But I just can't see this guy being at the club that long.
No.
And I think Brendan Rodgers knows that.
2 years.
And I think Brendan Rodgers knows that, look, what can really add value to your transfer is stats, is goals. And I think that's why Rodgers wants this guy on the penalties. Do I think it's right that he's come in? Is he the best penalty kick taker? Well, I'll tell you what, he took 2 good ones so far.
He has.
So I can't, but I mean...
In my opinion, wouldn't have changed even if he missed both of them. You know what I mean? Well, it wouldn't look good for him, but O'Reilly missed penalties last year. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that happens. So...
Yeah, we'll see. Gordon Dalziel, though, comes out with some controversial stuff. I don't think this is a controversial take, because I think Engels very well could be better, but I just haven't seen enough to...
I think it's jumping the gun.
Now, if Gordon Dalziel has watched this guy for the past couple of seasons playing with Augsburg in the Bundesliga, then I think he's got the right to make this claim. But if he's basing it off 2 and a bit games for Celtic, then I think that's unfair.
Yeah, that's a court, because of course he's basing it off that. He's never watched a Bundesliga game in his puff. Maybe apart from that Schalke Dortmund game that we all watched after lockdown, but that's the only Bundesliga game a lot of people watched.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know your thoughts down below, but we'll put it up for a poll to see who is better, Engels or Matt O'Reilly. Till next time, though, peace.